Okay, what I'm doing today is how to apply glitter with the epoxy method. I have already started because what I did was 10 mLs, 5 each A and B of my epoxy, and I put it on with a brush, and this way I can put it on thin. Um, you want to put it on thinly when you do the epoxy method because when when you put the glitter on, the epoxy will suck up a lot of glitter. And I don't know if you have noticed, if you've tried it, that it looks kind of like real smooth and shiny in some places. That's from the epoxy sucking up the glitter. So you probably have to add more glitter to it. This way it breaks down on the amount of glitter that you use. For some people say they use more glitter when you do this method, but it's because how thick you put your epoxy on. One thing that I like to do is I put my glitter on and then I let it turn for like an hour and a half or even 2 hours, and then I do what's called a flood coat. I do what's called a flood coat of epoxy. I will go back and mix another 5 or maybe 3 and 3 of each of epoxy and coat the glitter section, coat the glitter over again. Okay, so that's got a smooth thin coat of epoxy on it right now. So what I'm going to do is my glitter, and I was like, this is going to be Dallas Cowboys. So I'm going to do my blue first, which is the darker color. You can put it on. Whatever you get on there is what's going to be. I'm going to ombre the silver down. It's going to be silver on top and blue on the bottom. So this blue is going on right now. You see how smoothly it went on? And I just want to make sure that I got it evenly going around. One thing you want to be careful is make sure that your area that you're glittering is the right evenly sectioned. I don't use a tape on this because since it's ombre, you can have your silver. My silver is going to come up over the blue. So this blue I'm done with. I don't really see. I think I see a little spot right here that I need to do. What I do when I want to do the bottom of the cup, let me pour this blue back in. This is why I like having single turners, because this is what I do, and if I have a double or triple, the other ones might be in a bad position or time for me to be able to do this. I pick this up and I just do the bottom. When you do bottoms, you want to make sure that you don't put a lot of glitter on, because you want it to be even. You always have to make sure you're checking that. Even after you epoxy, check to make sure that your bottom is not chunky or clunky or anything with glitter, because that's going to make it not sit well. Even if you try to do epoxy, don't let your epoxy puddle at the bottom, because that'll make it sit weird and then it'll wobble. if you do have a wobble on your tumbler after you epoxy, you can sand it smooth. Just sand until you don't get the wobble out, and put a very thin light coat of epoxy back on the bottom. I like doing this. To me it's easier, and I don't like using Mod Podge, especially on a tumbler like this, because Mod Podge is water soluble, and I don't know if any kind of condensate underneath the Mod Podge will cause the glitter coat to fail and then start to, well, probably not last as long as it would have if you would have done the this epoxy method, because epoxy is not water soluble. Now you do have to be careful and tell your customers that they can't keep it in the heat, especially because that's what epoxy responds to, heat. You want to always make sure that your rim is covered evenly, and once you get your glitter on, you let it sit. And this was a thin coat of epoxy. I put it on with a brush. You can use your gloved finger, but try to make sure that your epoxy is on very smooth. Another thing, once you get your coat on, you can see that it's pretty well even. So since this is going to be a Dallas Cowboys wine glass, I'm going to, here on the bottom of the blue, add a little bit of chunky star glitter. I should have checked my stars out there. I can't even get it to open. Is this even open? So once it's turning like this, just let it turn for a little bit. You have plenty of time to watch it just for a little bit and make sure that your tumbler is turning. I'm fixing to get the little star glitter on there. I forgot to open my bottle. Oh, that's not open. So once you let it sit for a minute, you're going to drop, you want to see if you can get your stars on there. A lot of times the stars won't stick, so what you can do, you can get E6000 glue, spray glue, or you can use any kind of adhesive that would help you stick the stars on. You don't want a lot. You just want them to fall, and then you want them to fall flat. This is fine what I did right here, just this little bit of stars. I might go back and take some of those off. It might be too many. Also, you can pat your stars, any chunky glitter that you use. You can pat it down so it doesn't stick up. So that's all I'm going to do to the stars. You can go around and check it and make sure that your little stars are flat or not too bunched up. They don't have to be any kind of pattern. You just don't want them to be bunched up on each other. And then when you do your flood coat, you'll be able to go over these, because chunky glitter always needs extra coats of epoxy. So this is how I do it's so easy. Once it's turned for a little bit and it looks to you like maybe the glitter is turning that really shiny glittery look, and you feel like the epoxy is soaking it up, you can go back on your ombre and just do a light coat over the darker coat. I hope this little video helped you. Also, once that you've got your, once you've let it turn for a while and you feel like it might need more glitter or it just doesn't look right, you can go back and add some more epoxy and do another coat, add some more glitter, or just add your flood coat of epoxy. So it'll, when you do a flood coat of epoxy, what happens is it makes it a very smooth surface, and you can put your decals on without even having to sand. Now, you don't want to put them on the part with the chunky glitter area is. Right here, in an hour, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do another coat of epoxy, which is what I call my flood coat. And that will help to make it a really smooth surface. I'm really happy with doing flood coats. That turned out to be great because you don't have to go back and sand, which a lot of people don't like sanding. When you water sand, it is a little easier, but it's really great just to do it like this. And you see how even and smooth my coat is? So I'm going to let it spin, and I'll post another video with the flood coat. Thanks for watching. If you want to keep watching my videos, just subscribe and share so people can get help and figuring out this epoxy. One other thing I forgot to mention was I'll use alcohol. Really, with the alcohol, it doesn't matter which one you use. A lot of people like to use the 91, but for this, what I'm going to do right now, it doesn't matter. You can use any alcohol. I just go and I take a clean tissue, and I go and I hold my finger right on the rim in case I got any epoxy on there or glitter and I don't want it to clog it up. One thing that I do too is the Dollar Tree has these little stainless steel tumblers, and the lid from that stainless steel tumbler fits this wine glass. So if you just want to do something extra for your customer, you can go to Dollar Tree and get that small little $1 tumbler. I like using those tumblers for practice anyway, and so I always make those up and put stuff on them. Like if I want to practice something, because I haven't done it for too long, but I have done it for a while. When you mix different, like this has the silver and the stars, so I'm just putting this in a separate little container. These little containers, you can get 10 of them for $1 at any Dollar Tree or those, you know, standalone dollar stores. They're not really chains, but that someone has set up a dollar store. They always have little containers like these. They're perfect for glitter. I put all my pours, because sometimes I'll mix glitter. You don't want to put it back into your original box, but you can put it in one of these or your original bottle. And so that way you can save it. You can still use it. If I'm going to do another cup like this, I'll use it again. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll post other videos. I have other ones on my channel. I do have a flood coat video. It's the red tumbler for the Santa belt tumbler, so you can look at that one if you want to see the flood coat. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.